All right, this is Derek with 100 Interviews. We're here with Brian Solis. If you don't know Brian, you don't know social media. How you doing, Brian?
I'm really good, Derek.
That's
How are
good.
you?
I'm doing great. Late night last night?
No, we'll just call it an early morning.
Okay. You went to the Mashable party, didn't you?
I did, yes. I did.
It was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. I actually sang karaoke at the Blur party first, and then went over to the Mashable party because they were right next door to each other. Had a great time.
And I heard you were doing the snake to Paradise City, right?
Yeah, you know, who knew that you could get an Axl Rose voice and dance on, channel it so well. It's the beauty of Champagne.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what you been up to lately? I think you came out with maybe a book or something?
Yeah, actually I did. And I actually have to announce that officially. I came out with a book.
I saw it on Twitter, though.
All right, there you go. That, I guess technically then it's announced.
Yes.
I came out with a book called Putting the Public Back in Public Relations. It's, you know, don't let the name fool you. It's not so much just about PR. It's about public relations. You know, it's a fusion of communications and customer service and marketing and product development, and the whole idea of how to just socialize a new infrastructure from within, whether it's an agency or a company, basically.
Yeah, and I have to honestly say, you know, that's where Brian and I first met. We both worked for the Benjamin Group way back in the day, and I worked down in Southern California, and Brian was up here in Northern California, and he was always you were kind of the rogue guy that ran around the office. You always had the crazy ideas, you always had the cigars going, you know, but I just want to say that I'm really proud of what you kind of accomplished over the last several years.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, it was definitely, you know, Sherry rocked and Dan Post rocked, and they sort of helped cultivate those crazy ideas and, you know, kind of boosted me to go and experiment with them. Who knew if they would work? I'm still experimenting, still learning about all this stuff, but it's nothing short than completely transforming the entire industry.
That's great. Well, the whole reason that we came up with this 100 Interviews concept was we wanted to kind of get away from more of the business standpoint and really kind of focus on the individual. So we want to really understand how Brian's using social media, maybe to stay connected with your really close friends and, more importantly, family members. Is this helping you, you know, cultivate those relationships with your, you know, your parents, your grandparents, your cousins?
That's a good question. I think, you know, I use social media personally differently than I use it professionally. And by professionally, I mean maintaining, you know, relationships with people that, you know, where I'm bound contextually, right? You know, you and I, we follow the same type of ideas. We probably follow a lot of the same people on Facebook and Twitter, and we learn from a lot of the same crowds. But for my family and my friends, I have to be honest, I'm not using really social media to stay connected to them. I'm using text messaging and a phone.
Is that because of them, or is that just because that's the way that
No,
it works?
because I'd like to, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, staying connected online is one thing, but staying connected in a more human form is the only way to really sort of get relationships cultivated into the next level, or not even the next level, but just basically maintain at a closer, you know, a closer perspective. And it's nice to hear a voice, you know. It's nice to get that quick, direct thought from somebody on their phone and say, hey, I'm thinking about you right now, you know, or just go see them in person.
Exactly.
But
I think we've lost the art of the thank you letter. I mean, I've had people that I know in social media that I'll get a card from them, you know, from something I did for them, and you go, oh my God, people still do that.
Yeah, actually, that is a really great point, because I actually bought some cards recently because I'm going to start sending things again. I send my wife cards all the time to tell her that I love her, and send my mom cards just to get a little bit more of that human touch, right? Because even though this is all a human network, you know, and it's still pretty, you know, sweet that you and I can DM each other on Twitter and stay connected that way, and you know I'm reaching out to you, but it's still 140 characters. There's still a little bit of a disconnect from the complete personal engagement. I mean, it's still a nice touch. We're still building relationships. We're still feeling like we're moving. But then again, you know, the whole idea of Twitter and Facebook and the whole timeline and the stream is that we're snaking through things and learning things, you know, at the point of introduction. So it's not necessarily conducive for building real world relationships. It's great for introducing them. It's great for injecting ideas. It's wonderful for education and collaboration. And then it just sets the stage for this is, you know, South by Southwest is, if anything, is the culmination of all of that activity into the real world, and people just hug it out, man.
Right.
Like, it's great to see.
It's one big tweet up.
Exactly.
So where do you see this kind of playing out over the next, like, say, 2 to 3 years? You see more micro communities, more video integration, mobile apps?
I see this whole idea of syndication and aggregation, and it's starting to come into play right now. Facebook's investing in it heavily, and that is, syndication is I broadcast something. I share a tweet, I upload pictures, and it gets spread out, right? It goes on to Facebook, friend feed, Twitter. It goes to reach the people that are consuming that information in their own domain, in their own communities. And then the aggregation is the same thing like the new Facebook timeline or friend feed, where you're reading all of the activity from the people that you follow, not just their tweets, but everything that they put, all of their content in one place where you can comment and like it. I think this whole idea of I call it the micro appreciation, but with macro love. The idea of like on Facebook and on friend feed is much more than a favorite. I think that the whole idea that that's bringing about, where it's sort of like this virtual nod, if you will, to share what you're doing within their social graph just by clicking like. I think that idea is going to be something interesting also to follow in the next couple of years, because it basically introduces what they're looking at to their graph and the graph of graphs. So I see it being a lot more aggregated and streamlined. For example, the guy over there, Jody of People Browser, has built a dashboard where you can follow tweets, you can follow keywords, you can follow Facebook and friend feed. It's one dashboard for all of these networks to just stay connected. So I think
if you haven't used People Browser, you're missing a lot.
Yeah, it's an insane, exceptional product. It helps me stay connected.
Yeah, definitely. So we really appreciate your time, but we can't end this interview without maybe a story. I know that you just have a ton of friends within social media, and I know you throw a lot of parties and you go to a lot of parties. Anything you might want to share with our audience that might get someone in trouble?
No, but I'll tell you this. One of the things that, because I got to keep that on the down low, mostly because I just don't remember. But in all seriousness, I had a great time, even if it was only for 15 minutes, with Chris Brogan over at Vegas at the, I'm trying to remember the name of the hotel, yeah, Treasure Island, and we did a photo shoot on the pirate ship, because it has to sing about pirates, and we went up there, and Chris and I got the swords and had somebody shoot us swashbuckling up on the deck of a pirate ship. And that was memorable. That's going to be good.
Yeah, you can go to Brian's Flickr feed and find that. I saw it, and it's quite humorous. So.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Hey, Brian, we really appreciate your spending a little time with us today, and hope you enjoy the rest of your South by, and thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, Eric.